Welcome back to my channel. I'm JC, and today's video is episode 5 in my editing and revising my manuscript series, in which I am still stuck in the re-outlining phase. Thought I would be finished by now, but to be fair, I made great progress in this episode. Um, I have I'm almost finished. I feel like I'm almost finished. By episode 6, I should be finished because I want to start drafting for Camp Nano. So, uh, yeah, not gonna do a whole bunch of talking because I'm just gonna let you see for yourself how far I've come. Perhaps, maybe not as far as I should have come, but it is what it is. So, without further ado, episode 5. So, this will be the beginning of episode 5 of my editing series, I guess. Yes. So, I'm going to start. Have gotten to chapter 15. Oh, technically, I haven't finished chapter 15, but that's not the point. I'm going to start typing it up now because sometimes when I get to a certain point where I start getting a little stuck, and then I like to, at least when I get halfway through the outline, or at least about 10 to 12 chapters, I like to start typing it up so that I don't have to type it all up at the end all at once. So, and then sometimes when I'm typing up the outline, it'll give me some more ideas of things, the bullet points to put in there. So that is what I'm going to be doing in this episode, and hopefully by the end of this episode I will have a finished outline, but I make no promises. Okay, it's been a really long time since I gave an update on my outline process. This is still episode 5, by the way. I don't remember the actual date of the last time I did an update. I'll have to go back and watch the footage to see. But today is Saturday, the 11th of June, June 11th, day after my birthday. And I am going to type up some things for my outline. I have my outline typed up to the point where I stopped in the handwriting process, but I'm on a new schedule now. So, because normally I don't write on Saturdays, as you guys know, but my new schedule, yeah, Saturdays and Sundays are now on the table for doing work, which I hate, but with babysitting every day now, adjustments have to be made. Definitely not putting off writing, so things have to get done, and I probably should be editing a video that needs to go up this week, but I want to concentrate on the outline today to see if I can actually get this finished, or if at least get a lot of it finished. And then I'll be doing lots of video editing tomorrow on Sunday. Yay! Which I'm not even sure I can get all of it done, but whatever. I'll try. So, in typing this up, I had gotten to chapter 15 in the handwritten part. I actually didn't finish chapter 15, so I didn't actually type up the first part of chapter 15. It's a whole nother story. I've just been really stuck and unfocused, and I need to finish this outline this month because Camp Nano for July, I want to start drafting before then, but I want to at least start drafting by the time camp starts, which means I have to finish this outline. So, when I got to after chapter 10, there's Autumn's POV, and then there's chapter 11 is also Autumn's POV, and in typing it up, I realized, oh, because I was wondering and concerned when I was going to ever manage to slip Kyle in there. And I was like, well, maybe it's just going to be Autumn and Bryant. Autumn and Bryant and that one little POV where Javon is in there. But in typing it up and reading it as I'm typing it up, I realized Cal's POV could like go slip perfectly in between. Well, actually, I guess it would be the new chapter 11 now, because in between chapter 10 and 11, what I had written down was possibly put chapter with Cal's POV or Bryant's POV here. Um, so Kyle's POV is the one I chose to put here. So this is going to be the new chapter 11, which means chapter 11 now will end up being chapter 12, but whatever. So that is what I'm working on right now. I will be back to update you hopefully on progress later. Back to the work. And I know I'm disheveled and, you know, clearly haven't showered for the day, which is bad because it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But hey, it's Saturday. I chose to sleep in until like noon. I did my devotional this morning. I did some reading. I've had breakfast. I have had lunch. And I will shower as soon as I get Cal's chapter typed up. And then I'm going to go wash the dishes in the kitchen first to clean up. And then take a shower. And then come back and work on some more. And I know I should have already done this by this time of the day, but look, Monday through Friday, I don't get many chances to sleep in anymore. So, sleeping in on Saturdays. Sorry. It has to be done. I'll be back. Okay, it is many hours later. Um, I am okay. So when I left you guys, I was doing the fill-in chapter, where it was Cal's point of view, and that was chapter 11. Yeah, it was 11. So I did that chapter. I finished up what once was chapter 15, but is now chapter 16. I finished that up, and I just did chapter 17. So I've done 3. Well, I don't know if we can count finishing up chapter 16 or 15. Oh, finishing up the previous chapter 15 that is now 16. I don't know if it counts as finishing up a whole chapter for today, but okay, 3 chapters have been concluded, either started and concluded or just concluded today, and I am getting ready to go into chapter 18, and I'm gonna have to probably take a dinner break here shortly, but I'm making progress and I'm liking the progress that I'm making. So I'm very pleased with the work I've gotten done on this outline today. It's probably more work than I've gotten done in a few days, maybe a week or so. But they're about to go see Spencer, their daughter, at the hospital. She's just called them and said that there's something going on with her mom and she needs their help. And, you know, she still doesn't know that they're her parents yet. I'm trying to figure out if she's going to find out in this chapter or if I want to hold that off for a little bit more. But, yeah. Excited for the next coming chapters. I don't know how many chapters is actually going to be in total. It would help if I knew that, but because I'm structuring this so differently from the original manuscript, I have no idea. But that is my update at nearly 8 o'clock on this Saturday afternoon. As you see, I have gone and gotten dressed and everything and all that stuff. But on to chapter 18. I'm back.
to understand yours. And will you let me love you with all of my heart?
Will you share every season of every year ahead, through rain and snow, through sleep or sunshine, even dark of night, until God parts us?
I will.
I will.
Okay, so I'm still on the same day. Well, technically it's 1 o'clock in the morning now, so technically it's Sunday, but I'm still on Saturday time. I just finished chapter 18. Spencer knows the truth now about her parentage. Uh, her and Cassie had this big kind of come to Jesus moment where she helped Cassie realize that they need to tell Spencer the truth. Spencer knows something's up. She's a very smart young girl. So she knows something's going on. She knows something's up. Um, it's not like they can prolong it forever. She deserves to know. And so they tell her together. Um, and now she actually asked them to leave her alone to process some things. She tells Cassie, her mom, that she's not upset, but that she should have told her before. And I probably might change or adjust what she's going to say to them when I actually start drafting it. But in my mind, this is a precocious 9-year-old girl who is far beyond her years. That is how Spencer is in my head. She's a very intuitive, smart. She can read people really easily. That's how she knew something was up. she she uses words that you wouldn't expect a 9-year-old to use because she's just really beyond her years. And that's kind of how I'm writing her. That's kind of how she's presented herself to me. And so she's like, she's not upset with her, but she should have told her before. She tells Autumn she understands why she had to give her away, but, you know, she feels like, she should have came forward with the truth. It shouldn't have taken her getting sick for this to come out. And then she tells them all that she needs some time to herself so she can process. Because that's what 9-year-olds apparently do. That's what this 9-year-old does. Anyway, so I've literally, okay, I haven't been up all day, but I haven't been at my computer all day either. But I have alternated between reading and working on this outline. Most of the day, I've almost finished my book. I probably will finish it before I go to bed. But I think I'm finished working on this outline for today. I had hoped to get to chapter 20, but I did stop at dinner time. And as you saw, I took a little research break and watched a Hallmark lovey-dovey, feely type of movie. Because this is a romance after all, with some family drama mixed in for good measure. But so I watched a Hallmark movie, and I'm so sorry. And then I came back and worked on chapter 18. So now I'm going to shut it down for the night. I don't know when my next update will be, but hopefully I will be further along in this outline. Who knows? I'll be back. Well, no, I won't be back tonight. I don't know when I'll be back. But until the next update. Okay, so I just finished chapter 19, and is it chapter 19? Yeah, chapter 19, which is Bryant's point of view, and they had just left the hospital room, Spencer and He had gone back to his hotel room, making calls and things like that, thinking things over, and then shows up, and she's like confused and conflicted, and they start talking about their conflicting feelings and all this other stuff. And there's a kiss at the end of the chapter, and then there's a pull away moment, and it's like, no, I can't do this. So we had one of those moments. Not sure which. I think it's like the second time that this happened. So uh chapter 20 is going to be her POV and where she panics and freaks out because, it's twice now that this has happened, and she doesn't know what to do with all these feelings and everything else that's going on along with it. But this is, I forgot to say what day this was. This is Monday, the 13th of, the Monday the 13th. I'll be back for another update. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. I'm not really sure yet because I will have to wrap up this episode this week. So we'll see how far I get in this outline. Bye. Okay, so as you see or have seen, I am in a different location. I'm sitting at the edge of my bed, using an ottoman to write on, to make some notes for the next chapter or two in the outline. This is what day is this? Oh my God, is it Tuesday? Tuesday, oh my gosh, 14th time. What is time anymore? But we're still on episode 5. I will be honest and say I do not think I'm going to finish this outline before the end of episode 5. But that's okay, because in that, I'm so close. I'm so close. I should have it finished by episode 6, because the plan is to start drafting this second draft. Or I don't know, is it a second draft if it's a completely different version of the same novel? I don't know. But 2.0 or 1.5, I don't know. Second draft, first draft, again, however we want to phrase it. But I want to start drafting again. I miss drafting so much. I want to start drafting again for Camp Nano in July. So this outline is going to get done this month. I am putting off some things that I probably should not be putting off right now, but I can't concentrate on the other stuff I need to do, because my focus in the back of my mind is finishing this outline this month. And yeah, so with that said, back to work I go. I'll be back to update you whenever I have another update to tell you. It's about to get not spicy, but I did take out something in the original manuscript that I didn't really necessarily like having it in the original manuscript anyway, because I was starting to notice a pattern in my books, and I don't like that pattern. But in the original manuscript, she actually full-blown cheated on her fiance with Bryant, who she's really in love with anyway, but it doesn't justify it. And so there are some stolen kisses in this, so I suppose you could technically say that that's still cheating, but she doesn't let it, or at least I'm not finished the outline yet. But my plan is for her not to actually full-blown cheat on Kyle in this version of this manuscript, because I didn't necessarily like that I did that in the first one, and this is the time to change that. Plus, I'm kind of writing it, not saying that I'm ever going to submit this manuscript to Hallmark or anything. They do have open contests though, but I'm kind of writing it with the Hallmark, not Hallmark theme, but with Hallmark notes in the back of my mind. And we all know that Hallmark does not show spicy scenes. They just don't. So I'm kind of writing it with that in the back of my mind. Plus, I don't like writing sex scenes anyway, so it's fine. I just realized I don't even know if I have her. I mean, I think her and Cal sleep together in the original version, but I don't think I've had them do that in this version either. I really don't like writing sex scenes at all. Um, if I can manage to not have to do that, I completely will not do that. Um, not that I can't write a sex scene, mind you. I read the one that I wrote in the original manuscript, and I shocked myself because it was really good. For someone who doesn't like writing them, it's not that I can't write them. I just don't like to. It's my least favorite thing to do as far as writing a novel. But anyway, so I have taken the scene where they sleep together while they're in Denver visiting, well, meeting their daughter. Because there was that scene. So I've taken that out. Just kind of, I'm reading back through the chapters that, because it was lining up so far until I got to chapter 11, I believe. And then as I'm reading it back, it stopped lining up. But I think that's because they slept together in this, which kind of changed the trajectory of the story a little bit. Because then there was this big betrayal that now she's committed. And now I don't have that big betrayal anymore because I don't want her to do that. I don't want her to be that person. So, yeah. But I'll be back for another update. So, editing update. Yes, I have changed it to pajamas now, but I've gotten those 2 chapters that I was working on writing the bullet points out. Chapter 20 is actually going to be a big chapter, probably the longest chapter in the book, because I kind of packed a lot into it. It's when Autumn like really gets to spend some one-on-one time with Spencer. After Spencer finally knows that Autumn is her biological mother, and it's when Spencer kind of, well, they bond. Spencer has questions. Um, of course, Autumn thinks that she did the right thing in giving Spencer to her aunt, that she could give her a better home. And this is kind of when Autumn questions that decision because Spencer kind of lets her in on some of the troubling issues that have been going on in her household. Basically, her mom, well, Cassie, is in an abusive relationship with her husband, Spencer's stepfather, and it's not a good situation for Spencer to be living in that house. And Spencer is a very beyond her years child, so she's kind of always been the one taking care of Cassie instead of vice versa. You know, obviously, she's 6, so Cassie is taking care of her to an extent, but in terms of the household situation. And so this is when they have their moment, their bonding moment, and that ends. This is when Autumn questions whether she really did the right thing, whether she would have been better off raising her herself. She thought she was doing the right thing. She thought she wasn't in a position already. She was only 16. What does she know about having a baby? And she couldn't take care of one. So, she's thinking she did the right thing, but now she's hearing how Spencer grew up and wasn't really the right thing. And so she's, conflicting feelings. She decides to go to Cassie's home because she also remembers some things that Cassie said when Cassie was freaking out about the possibility of Brian and Autumn taking custody of Spencer away from her. Because I don't know if I discussed this part, but when her and Brian was talking about, all those years ago and the decision she made to give her to Cassie and not to tell him that she did it or whatever, and there was discussion about the legality of it, whether she signed anything. She was 16. She didn't know what she was doing. She didn't sign anything. So legally, she still, could have claim over her daughter. So Cassie knows this, and she, There's a couple of moments in previous chapters where Cassie says, you can't take her from me. This is not happening to me again. And, she makes comments like that. So I kept that part from the original manuscript because I was kind of wondering whether I was going to keep it to where she finds out later on in the story that Cassie is actually her biological mother. Did I ever reveal that to you guys? Did I? Anyway, so in the original manuscript, Cassie turns out to be Autumn's biological mom. There was a one night thing with Cassie and Autumn's father. Cassie's mother, I mean not Cassie's mother, Autumn's mother, who she knew to be her mom, died when she was 5. But she apparently, as she finds out later, her mom couldn't have kids. And so when the one night thing happened, and then Cassie ended up pregnant, and she had drug and alcohol problems. So they decided the best thing was for them to raise Autumn as their child. I mean, her father is her father. So, so that is what she's referencing. That's what Cassie's referencing when she talks about this can't happen again, and that this, that, and the other. So Autumn remembers this after hearing the stories of Spencer growing up and how she grew up or whatever. And she remembers those, and she never got an answer from Cassie as to what she was talking about. Cassie just kind of brushed past it. So she goes to Cassie's home. They have a conversation. She talks about some things. Spencer didn't tell her that she couldn't tell what she told her. So she talks about the fact that her and Spencer had a conversation. They talked, some things going on or whatever. Cassie kind of stonewalls her, brushes past, changes subjects and whatnot. She asks her about the comments she made, so Cassie just tells her to ask her father. And before she could delve into it any further, Cassie's husband comes home, and her husband doesn't even acknowledge Autumn's presence. He just gripes and grunts about the fact that the house isn't clean and his dinner isn't on the table and ready. And also, Autumn notices old bruising and fresh bruises that Cassie has tried to cover up. So when she leaves the house, she makes sure to let Cassie know she'll be in touch, or her lawyer might be in touch. So, there's that. So 20 is a big chapter. And then 21 is when Bryant and Spencer have their one-on-one. And I thought it was important to showcase each of them having their individual moment with their daughter. I think in the original manuscript, kind of have had them having their moment with her together. But in this version, I kind of wanted to do the kind of balance it, where they each have their moment with. And she doesn't necessarily talk about the same things with Bryant as she does with Autumn. They talk about different things. So, she talks about different things. But, so yeah, just wanted to share that I've gotten to chapter 20. I'm on, 22 will be the next chapter I work on. So we're moving along. Still don't think I'll be done by the end of this episode, but we're moving along. And there you have it. That is where I'm at in my manuscript. In my outline. I'm on chapter. I thought I would be able to get another chapter done before I wrapped up this episode, but I was not able to. So I'm at the end of chapter 21. I think I know what chapter 22 is going to entail. I think, but I just haven't typed it out yet. But we're getting to an interesting portion. We're going to get to where she reveals to her family soon, and her fiance, that she has a secret child. First, they're going to tell Javon, who is the father of her son, because Bryant feels he owes it to him because that was his best friend. So that conversation is going to go, that's going to be probably another volatile argument. I don't know. Okay, so in the original manuscript, Javon dies. I'm still thinking about, I'm trying to figure out if I want him to die in this version. I'm leaning towards him still dying, but the scenes that took place before his death in the original manuscript aren't taking place in this one, so I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to navigate there. Um, well, he's still wrapped up in his old life, so that could be it. He came back to town, so he says, to reconnect with Autumn and to see his son. But is that the real reason he came back to town? Perhaps he came back to town for another nefarious reason that's going to land him in some trouble of the fatal kind. Haven't decided yet. But Spencer is going to eventually come live with them because there's some stuff. Autumn has just basically found out, grass isn't always greener on the other side. She thought she was giving her daughter up to a better life, and turns out, even though she might have struggled trying to raise her, she might have been the one to give her the better life. So, they're gonna have this bonding moment, get to know her. Her little daughter's gonna play matchmaker because she's gonna see that, her parents are still in love. She's gonna see the vibes between them, and Autumn's gonna do the whole push and pull thing. Should I? Shouldn't I? I shouldn't. No, I can't do this to Cal, and all of that. I just have to figure out how it's going to. I don't want to do too much of that. I don't want to drag on the story longer than it needs to be dragged on. I want to get to a point where she is willing to let down her guard and let the person she really wants to be with into her heart or back into her heart, and maybe get to the root of the real issues of why she feels she can't be with him. We'll get there. Also, there has to be the big reveal of Cassie is actually her mother. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna work that one in there too. That one, I don't think that'll be too hard because she's gonna, Cassie kind of directed her to ask her father some questions. Her father's gonna be very evasive, which he's not normally like that. They have a very close bond. Mostly because he feels like he had to make up for her not having a mother. Because her mother, well, the woman she knew as her mother, died when she was 5. So, yeah, he's going to avoid all of her questions. And there's going to be a moment where Cassie's just gonna pop up and show up. So I haven't navigated in my head how I'm going to write this out. But yeah, some interesting things about to happen. I wish I had an idea of how many chapters is going to end up being in this book so that I can know how close I am to finishing. But this is one of those things where I can't really determine that because of how I'm writing it and because it's so different from the original manuscript. So anyway, a lot of rambling. So sorry. That is where I'm at. I should be finished the outline by episode 6. I say should, but I make no promises. It takes how long it takes. And I'm ready to start drafting though. I'm so ready to start drafting this book. And I know some of you will say, well, just start drafting it already, but you know how I am. I need that outline. Even if it's a sparse outline at the end, I need the outline. But that is going to be it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments, how long does your outlining process take? And is it different when you outline initially as opposed to when you are re-outlining for a second draft? I'd be curious to know how that works for you. As per usual, if you would like to support me in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog site, my online magazine, my online store, or my Ko-fi page, all of those links can be found in the description box below. And until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.